Hey guys, welcome to the final blog in my How to Make Soap Making series. I did a 6-week soap making series on how to make cold process soap. This technically is 7. This is a little bonus piece on the soap making blog. So if you have not read that blog, please go take a look at that and then come follow along. So my bonus piece is a very basic tutorial on how to make your own soap. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or message me right through the website where you're seeing my blog. You can send me a message. But without further ado, let's get into making this very simple batch of cold process soap. All right guys, here's the basics I'm going to need to make today's soap. I have my hard oils here. This is coconut oil, palm oil, and coconut butter. And in this one here, I have my soft oils, olive oil and castor oil. I believe my blog has a piece about what these oils are good for. This little bowl here has some kaolin clay and some French green clay in it. And this little bowl has my lavender in it. And here is my lye. It is very important to weigh these guys, not use tablespoons or measuring cups of any kind. These ingredients should be weighed. That's my lye going in. I won't bore you with all this melting, but I will tell you I put that through a siphon or like a filter just to make sure that nothing got missed. The lye is really, really hot when you make it. I did make it off camera. I made it by my sink. The lye is very hot and it does put off fumes when you first make it. You need to be very careful that you do not breathe in those fumes. You should do it in a well-ventilated area. Sometimes I do it outside if I have a lot of lye I'm making. I try and do it by an open window if I can, or I really, really am careful if I can't do any of the above. So it's really hot. It's a chemical reaction between the water and the lye. And then you put it here, and it's that heat that's going to melt these. So I'm not going to bore you guys while I just try and melt all this, but yeah, just give me a minute. All right, well that continues to melt. Let me just talk to you a little bit about the additives. Usually the clays like this are about a teaspoon or so to a tablespoon per pound of soap. That means the oils. That doesn't mean the total of your recipe because the water is not included. Because a properly cured bar of soap won't have that water at the end. So I like to put these into here. And then I'm just going to blend it a little bit because I like to reconstitute a little bit. Sometimes I put it into lye water too, but you blend it real good. Guys, cold process soap can also be made using heat from an oven. I started doing my soap that way years ago. So you melt down those hard oils and then you add your soft oils or you melt them together. But I often found, especially when I started making milk soap, that heating up those oils got everything too hot. And then when you pour it into the mold, especially bigger molds, there's a chemical reaction that happens and that hot soap gets a lot hotter. And I found making milk soaps that I just couldn't have I was too impatient to wait for these oils to cool down after I had melted them. So I ended up with overheated soap because I was too impatient to wait. So it is important to have your soap at about 110, your oils and your lye about 110 degrees if you're going to do that kind of thing. If you're going to heat up the oils to melt those hard things, you should take the time to wait for it to come down to about 110. And then your lye water should come down to about 110. I also found years ago when I was making soap that I didn't have the patience to wait, and I never really got my lye and my oils around the same temperature. They were roughly, and I seemed to be okay, but more often than not, I was just impatient and I mixed it together. And usually it worked until I started making milk soap or putting other additives like honey and stuff. That no longer works then because I often had to overheat, which I did manage to save most times. So yeah, you can do it that way. So what I've done today in this tutorial is I'm doing a room temperature cold process soap, which means I'm using the heat from the lye water to melt all these oils. So that's the easiest way I found. So sometimes these little chunks don't melt very well. And total honesty, guys, this is the first time I put kokum butter in. I usually use shea butter and or cocoa butter. And I bought kokum butter because the cost of cocoa butter, oh my goodness, I'm tongue-tied. Cocoa butter is gone skyrocketed. So I bought kokum butter to try and attempt to make things with it instead of cocoa butter. So I'm not only doing this tutorial for you, but I'm also playing around with this new butter because I like to make small batches when I do something new. It is quite hard like cocoa butter, and you will find there's these little bits. Sometimes when there's these little bits left over, I just go in my blender and I just zap it. And I might just do that because I'm really not a very patient person. So let's try that. So I'm just going to get on top of those and just blend those pieces. Just speed things up a little. I will also tell you guys that I don't very often soap in glass. You'll notice this is glass, and I've done that just for the tutorial today so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I don't very often soap in glass. I always do it in my plastic buckets or sometimes stainless steel, which probably should have been part of my safety thing when I did when I did the blog. You have to be careful what you put soap in, because if it's not stainless steel and it's other cheaper metals, it may react. Aluminum, I believe, is the one. I should have looked at that before because I just never used it. I have all stainless steel, but I believe it's aluminum. You can't put lye into aluminum. So here goes. These are pretty much gone. There's a few left, but anyway. I'm going to go ahead. So now I'll put my soft oils into the hard oils. I keep these separate because if I put these into this, it cools off the lye water too quickly before it melts all the hard oil. So I always do the hard oils first, and then I pour the soft oils in. The soft oils that are blended really well. It's really important to use measurements, guys. I think I mentioned that before, but like a weight measurement, not cups or tablespoons or eyeball. Don't ever eyeball your soap ingredients, guys. Never, never, never. It's really important. Really important part not to do, okay? So what we're doing here is we're going to blend this, and we're looking for a trace. And I don't believe I talked about trace that much in the soap making blog. Trace is the point where you know that the lye and the oils have bonded together, and they're going to stay bonded together in order to produce the soap. If it doesn't reach trace, the lye, water, and the oils will separate off again, and you'll have a mess of lye water and oils, and it would be awful. I've never actually experienced it. It's not safe, and it's just awful. So you want to make sure that your soap gets to a trace. Some soap makers do it really quite thick. Depends on what I'm doing. I probably will do it quite thick today just because of what we're doing here, and I'm not doing anything fancy. If you're doing swirls, which I might do another tutorial for, you can leave things a little bit lighter trace. But for today, I also notice I have a lot of bubbles in here, which, whatever, we'll get rid of those. I'm going to do it to a fairly thick trace. You can tap your stick blender, and yeah, my stick blender is ugly, I know. If you've been following me for a while on my pages, other than this blog, you will know that this is an old blender. It works perfectly fine, except for it is taped together. And I am kind of cheap, and I don't want to buy a new one. And I don't use this one very often because I have a big industrial one that I use for most of my soaps now. So I don't very often use this one. But if you tap this on the bottom, you can get rid of those bubbles so that you don't have this situation going on the top. I don't know if you can see this on the camera or not, but it is getting to like a medium kind of trace. You can see it kind of sits on top of the soap. Let's see if I can get rid of some of those bubbles. When I do one of this, I don't know if you guys can see that or not. If you see that on the top of there like that, pretty good chance that you've gotten to your trace. I am going to blend a little bit more though, because I want a little bit. The green clay that I put in here is going to add some really nice properties to the soap. This will be a very gentle soap. I'm using lavender like I mentioned. I didn't put a whole lot of the kaolin clay in Just wanted to put a little bit in, and you can see a little bit tinge probably of the green in there, but not really that much. I should have long sleeves on here as per my safety. I should also be wearing my glasses, but I'm not. I should practice what I preach for sure. This is getting to a much thicker trace here, so what I'm going to do is just get as much soap off of here as I can. I don't like to blend my essential oils in. Let's just get that right out of the way. Okay, lavender going in. Sometimes I'll blend in the fragrance oil, but I don't very often blend this. Floral essential oils tend to make trace a little bit faster, thicker, so I don't usually. If I need to blend it a bit more, I can pop the stick blender back in for a minute, but we're just going to blend this in like this. Oh, it smells so good. I thought my little mold here was about 1.5 pounds. Or 2 pounds. I think this might be a 1 pound mold. So I actually brought up some other ones as well that I'll just pop some of this soap into it. So all right. And it still is to a nice medium trace. Let me just bring that up and see if you can see how it trails across the top of the soap. That's your trace. It is a nice medium trace, but I might just see if I can get it a wee bit thicker and blend it. Before we had all blenders and everything, guys, the soap makers used to do this all by hand. I can't imagine. The very first soap that I was gifted it. I didn't buy it. It was from the Allura Soap Company, and I absolutely loved it. And I believe that company still does it the old-fashioned way. I would assume, but they've done it for so many years. They would have definitely done the old-fashioned way. They probably did the old-fashioned way of calculating as well. We have it easy these days with soap calculators and such. So, all right. So let's go ahead. First, I need to get a towel. Clean up the mess I just made. This on my counter. Okay, so I think that we're probably going to have to pour this into a couple of different things here. If I let this sit in this bowl, it would thicken up even more. So let's get it poured into here. I'm going to pour it right to the top, almost. I'm going to tap this just a little. It's a good reason why I should be wearing glasses right now in case anything flies up. Give me a light tap just to tap the bubbles out. Okay, I'm just going to set that there for now, and let's see how many of these I can actually get filled up. Whoops, that's too much. Yep, gonna make a mess now, guys. I want this flat. I might actually get one more here. I actually forgot to mention that I did put a little bit of spearmint in this too, and I'm smelling it right now. Oh my gosh. Okay. Just gonna give this a light tap too to flatten things out. I don't really want this, I want this flat. There we go. I want those bottoms flat. I don't usually pour into this, so I'm a little bit awkward with this one. So let's do that. I'm wasting a bit of soap. I don't like to waste soap, but. All right, guys, I did do this one off camera. I just did the tops a little bit fancy, and I did put some pink salt on there. Sometimes I put lavender on, but lavender kind of goes a weird color on soap, so I don't very often put lavender on. I don't very often put anything like that on, to be honest. I use micas a lot, but this is a very simple soap and it's so pretty. So yeah, I'll show you again. All right, I'm gonna unmold these tomorrow and see how they look. All right, I did not get these out of the mold the way I should have, but I did it today. I poured these last Friday. My weekend got carried away, so I did not get them unmolded and cut. Today's Tuesday, still fine, got them cut. I cut these into sample size little pieces. And here's the little flower guys, super cute. These ones I unmolded quickly on the weekend. So I have 15 of these little sample pieces that I cut out of this little mold here that you guys seen me pour in. I want to give these pieces away. I have 15 pieces of soap, and they're going to go to the first 15 people who comment on this video. I want to know what you thought of the six-week blog series, and what did you think of this? Should I do another one? Comment below, and thank you for watching, guys.